you sick in the mind? Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient and intellectually molested and ideologically molested?
So nice. Now we know who he's talking to.
Okay. All right. I didn't want to play the other intro because we already went live earlier, so we already played it. So I wanted to play something instead of that. So
now that we know that he was talking to one of his mutter wives.
Freaking mutter wife.
I don't want to be just a wife in your hotel.
Are you that intellectually molested?
Hey, little voice. David, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Long time no see, man.
Yeah, good to finally be on a live stream together.
Long time no see. Long time no see.
Great to know we can talk about certain things as long as they have nothing to do with the name that shall not be named, although I'll just say it rhymes with Schmo Hogan.
Let me retitle this.
Mention that name, the whole thing gets taken down.
You won't believe what happened. Is now the name of this live stream. Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. Let's have a look at the super chats. Yeah, I'm just going to go through super chats, which I was based enough to go and save all the super chats.
Yeah, because I was like, who cares about the stupid super chatters? We don't care about them. Just cancel the show.
And I said, no, I shall not do such a thing. Oh, let's record the audio. Okay, anyway. Want Dave to answer if your neighbor. Jake Shields wanting you in the ring so bad. Got to love self-hate, no juice. Accept the fight, then tap out when the bell rings. Giovanni Garcia, debate him while fighting him. Actually fight him in a cave. MT, also Rogan would never sit and nod if a trans person was denying biology, yet he sits and nods with people like Ian Carroll. He should own his bias. This is very, very much true. Darkwing, the Makon Hamikdash, the Temple Institute had support of 30% of Israelis in a poll from 2022. A poll last month shows support up to 54%. Wow. But the Jews, the amount of Jew hate has to be demonic. AP, I'm praying for you. Stay safe out there. Oh, hi, David Wood. I think they're talking to you.
Hello.
Noam MKW made a super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Based autistic Douglas could have shut down Joe and Dave with one question. What did you do after Billy Carson was here? Who is Wes Huff and why was he on your show? Exactly. Exactly.
That's a good point, everyone. So Joe Rogan found out that Billy Carson had been spouting complete nonsense. And so what did he do? He got on someone who knows a bit more about what he's talking about. Yeah. So the point there is, why don't you do that regularly if you find out that someone used your show to spout a bunch of weird nonsense?
Check out Behind the Veil's new hijab vid 2025. Fun. You told me about this. There was a new video about Mohammed hijab.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is.
Grauen Ritter said,
Behind Veils posted yesterday.
I agree with Douglas, but I don't think it's wrong that JRE is the Cooks and Cranks show. You don't go to it for geopolitics. Brandon Garcia White, simple. People like Joe and Dave need to be rebels. Their persona needs to always be contrarian. Powerful. Song of Relief poem. The Christians and Jews are friends of each other. The Mohammedans' holy book says everyone can see they back up one another, but poor Jake often bongs in his hands. Misha, this is the curse of Almighty Ezra upon Joe Rogan and Mojab. Douglas Murray compulsing the evidence into hailing Ezra, or else the curse of Ezra shall corrupt them. Thanks be to Tree of Nicaea. MT says almost choked at David Woods. We need a Bible. Mumu
Wait,
joke,
which one?
Thank you.
We need a Bible?
Yeah, some joke earlier about the Schofields.
I don't remember what it was.
Mumu Joe said thank you. Shake Mark Wingling said, you see, David Wood just admitted he's about to write a new Bible for the Jews now that the Schofield Bible has even exposed. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to call our new book the Jewy McJewface Bible. We're going to use it to trick all the Christians. No, don't call it that. Sounds official. Get some Christian pastor. Okay. We'll call it the Schofield Bible. We'll call it the Schofeldman Bible. No, just go with Schofield.
I have a book here. It looks like a very Jewified version of the Bible. So, here, Tanakh. It says Jewish Bible. Look, why does it say Jewish Bible?
This is funded by the Rothschilds.
Why would they Jewify the Bible? Why
They
would they
Jewified
do
it,
such a
look.
thing?
They put those Torah scrolls on it to Jewify it.
Why would they do such a thing? Why would they Jewify this book? What's wrong with you?
Why would Mossad put out this Bible?
Man, so dumb.
Jews!
This is the proof. Sheikh Mike Wingling. No, Giovanni Garcia, the Bible too. This time it's vengeance. Yeah. Sheikh Mike Wingling. King James was a Muslim. King James Sheikh Yaqub was a Muslim from Palestine. Schofield was a Zionist Jew. They're clearly different. Liars. May Allah bring down your stream.
Powerful. I'll bring down your stream. Whoa! Powerful.
Hey,
What
this
was the
super chat
timing
was made 1.5 hours ago.
Whoa! Hey, Muslims of the world, this is your best argument for the truth of your religion ever. This is the most persuasive thing ever. It's way more persuasive than the arguments, the perfect preservation.
Sheikh
scientific
Mike
argument.
Wingelinge literally said, "May Allah bring down your stream." More than an hour later, the stream was brought down by Allah.
Yep, and I was talking about a mubahala earlier, and here we had it, and we see who was cursed. AP's channel.
Damn. Wow. This is the proof. Anyway, Loaves of Bread is eared into the same thing as his aunt, E. Jean. Yes. When jihados start rocketing and we are in the way, don't rely just on circuitry. Iron domes may be nice, but just save me a space behind your circuitry. AP complains about Jew hate, yet praises Sam Shimoon, a known anti-Semite, and took his side over CPs when Sam attacked him for supporting Israel. Did I take his side against CP? I'm pretty sure that I didn't. I said maybe one or two things about it. I didn't really comment much on it. Is Sam Shimoon a known anti-Semite? I don't think Sam Shimoon is particularly anti-Semitic. I think that he has a problem with Israel. He has a problem with pro-Israel Christian stances. He also considers Judaism problematic. That said, I haven't heard him so far be like outright anti-Semitic or anything like that. I'm not sure what this is. A little bit of an exaggeration. Unless you can show me something where he is openly, outright, directly anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic, or anything like that. I mean, I talked to him private about the whole about Jews as well, where he's pretty much has the view that Jews are just like any other people from his Christian perspective. That's it. That's his view. MT, merch, we need a Bible. We are all tarded, please. Alhamdulillah. Triconius Constantinus, the Catholic Study Bible, didn't invent the CC. It didn't. Did it invent the CC, David?
Catholic Church. The Catholic Study Bible invented the Catholic Church.
It did, right?
Yes.
Good. It's also the Orthodox Study Bible invented Orthodoxy, by the way. Arctic Base says, David Wood, I asked ChatGPT who the top 20 online Christian apologists are. Mike Winger was number 3. IP number 15. You didn't even feature. Explain this.
Winglings take over terrible stuff like ChatGPT.
Let's see.
Seriously, you want to appeal to ChatGPT? Lily J, huh? ChatGPT can be programmed to give stupid answers.
Let's see.
Arctic based.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT right now. Who are the top 20 Christian it says Justin Martyr. No, man, right now. C.S. Lewis, Thomas Aquinas. No, man, right now. Let's see. William Lane Craig, John Lennox, J. Warner Wallace, Frank Turek, Sean McDowell, Timothy Paul Jones, David Wood.
What?
What?
I was on there?
Yeah, look, I just asked ChatGPT. Look at this. Wait a minute. Can I bring this on here now? Wait, how do I bring this on here? How do I bring it on
You
here?
don't even know how to use your program?
Because I just changed it because it was. Oh wait a minute! I want to test if it still does the echo thing. Actually, let's see. Now that it's completely screwed up anyway, I don't care anymore.
Want me to talk?
Wait, hold up.
Check.
Now talk.
Check. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
and
know what it is.
If you're
sharing your
screen,
screen, it's sharing your screen with audio, and therefore there's two audios of me.
But normally it doesn't do that. I've been doing that forever, so that's very, very stupid. Very stupid. Stupid. But here. So I asked ChatGPT who are the top 20 Christian apologists alive right now. List briefly. It said, here's a list of 20 prominent Christian apologists currently alive. William Lane Craig, John Lennox, J. Warner Wallace, Frank Turek, Sean McDonald, Timothy Paul Jones, David Wood.
What?
See?
That's you. Hey, you asked ChatGPT?
Yes.
I asked, and what question did you ask?
Who are the top 20 Christian apologists
Oh,
alive right
wow.
now?
Hey, that's crazy. You just said alive. I just said on YouTube, but I asked Grok because I don't even have ChatGPT. But I asked Grok, who are the top 20 Christian apologists on YouTube? It said 1, William Lane Craig. He wouldn't be the top on YouTube, but he would be. He's not in his prime anymore. But I mean, he's the GOAT on the topics, the main topics he deals with. Frank Turek, John Lennox, Sean McDowell, J. Warner Wallace, David Wood, Mike Winger. Hey, they actually. Oh, this is ranked. So
Hey,
this is in order. I'm number 7. Mike Winger's number 8. Then Trent Horn, Greg Kokel, Cameron Bertuzzi, Bobby Conway, 1 Minute Apologist, Ray Comfort, Jeff Durbin, Tim Barnett, Michael Brown, Cliff Connectley, Elisa Childers, John McCrae. Hey, my boy John McCrae. What do you mean? Let's get me up to number 1 here. What?
This one here doesn't even mention Mike Winger.
Nice try, Wingalings. You tried to sway everyone with your pre-programmed ChatGPT responses.
It even mentions Cameron Bertuzzi. It even mentions Cameron Bertuzzi and not Mike Winger.
Yep.
Like, who mentions Cameron Bertuzzi?
Look at that. Hey, wait. Go up. Huh. Hey, that's weird because you're on ChatGPT and I'm on Grok, and it gave different lists. But I'm ranked number 7 on both of them. So you can, whether you just go YouTube or the internet in general, ladies and gentlemen, I am the 7th greatest apologist on the planet.
It even says critiques Islam and
according to ChatGPT.
YouTuber masturbator critiques Islam and atheism.
ChatGPT and Grok don't agree on much, but they agree on this. David Wood is the 7th greatest apologist, Christian apologist.
Nice.
Based.
James White. Sorry, it mentions James White as well. Wesley Huff. Interesting. Nice. Yep, interesting.
Catch me if you can. That's funny. Sean McDowell is right there, and me and Sean just had some discussions. Hey, you know what's funny? So I went to California because I told Fareed. I don't know if you remember, but last year Fareed posted something saying, I challenged David Wood to make a video about the deaths of the apostles. And so Sean McDowell did his doctoral dissertation on that and wrote the book on the fate of the apostles. So I said, hey, can we get a recording? I had a request from a Muslim, and he said, yeah. So, but the same day he was interviewing me and I was interviewing him, he was also interviewing Rob Liefeld. Now, you don't know who that is, AP, but anyone who's reading comic books in the 90s will. He's the guy who invented Deadpool and Cable and stuff like that. He's a comic book artist, but he came up with the characters, most famously in recent years, Deadpool and stuff. Anyway, I don't even know the guy's a Christian, but we're there. And I told him that I had some of his most important comic books, the first appearance of Cable and stuff, but that I wasn't sure what to do with them because they were stolen, right? Because I stole them back in the day, and they've always been in a comic book box, right? A bunch of the comic books that I stole back in the day, I sold them, but I still have some of them. So first appearance of Cable and some of the other, all the early Image stuff. So I was telling him about that. And I said, yeah, so I got these comics, and I was thinking I have to give them away to charity or something because I stole them. And he goes, well, seems like God wanted you to have them. And I'm thinking, wait, I smashed the window of a store and stole them. He guess God wanted you to have him. Kind of funny.
That's
Anyway,
messed up, man. That's really, really messed up.
it was
That's
kind of
really
funny.
messed up.
But it was kind of fun. But then I was talking to Sean McDowell, and I was like, wait a minute. The guy who made them said they're mine. So who takes precedent there? I mean, who gets, like, I stole them from somebody, but the guy who made them says they're mine. So I don't know. Do I keep them? I don't know. It's weird. I'm inclined to give them away. I'm going to give them to somebody and not tell them they're stolen.
You shouldn't just keep them, man. That's what a real man does. You just keep him. You just keep him. Hey, I just asked who are the top.
Oh yeah,
hey,
Scott. Oh, Skylar, the creator, says probably a statute of limitation. Yeah. I'm not worried about getting in trouble. There's statute of limitations. I could not get into any trouble. I'm talking about morally. I still have stuff that I stole from someone. The store's not there. Otherwise, I would go give them back to the store. But
nobody cares about the story, man.
It's still stuff I stole and didn't pay for. So I feel like I should give it to charity or something like that.
Hey, look at this.
Ooh.
Who are the top 20 critics of Islam alive right now? Just briefly, I'll list briefly. Ayaan Hirsi Ali, Robert Spencer, David Wood.
Hey, look at that.
Shamoun.
Hey, I'm the seventh greatest living Christian apologist and the third greatest living critic of Islam. Booyakasha.
I'm pretty sure this is not meant to rank them. It just lists 20.
Oh, that just says 20. Yeah.
I
asked top 20, and so I assumed the ranking was in order. We'll just assume that it's in order. That's funny that Imam Tawhidi is on there.
Is this ranked in any specific? No, the list is not ranked. It's a general compilation. There you go. In your face. In your face.
All right. So for all we know, I am number one.
3, David Wood. 4, Sam Shamoun. 5, Ali Sina. 6, Bill Warner. 7, Tom Holland. 8, Douglas Murray. Hey, we just talked about him. 9, Brigitte Gabriel. 10, Raymond Ibrahim. 11, The Apostate. What is this? What kind of
what? Moving on up
to
the top of the Critic of Islam list.
Look at this. All these have.
Hey, Abdullah Samir's on there.
Names.
We got Abdullah Samir.
All these people have normal names, and look at this apostate prophet.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Everyone's got a name except AP.
Yeah. Oh, it says Ridwan Aidami in parentheses. So, Imam Tawhidi, Wafa Sultan, Ibn Warraq, Abdullah Samir, Yasmin Mohammed, Armin Navabi, Robert Red. What? Who? Who is Robert Rediker?
He's a French philosopher. Don't you know him? No, he's known for his essays critical of Islam.
I've never heard of Robert Rediker.
Yeah, he's a French philosopher known for his essays critical of Islam.
Who? Searching the web. Is a French philosopher and writer known for his critical views of Islam.
I just told you that.
2006, he authored an article in Le Figaro titled
Figaro! You got to say it right.
Fait en intimidations islamistes.
Figaro.
What should the free world do while facing Islamist intimidation? Okay, I never heard of him, but I'm sure he's very good.
And based.
Hamid Abdul Samad and Peter McLaughlin. Based.
McLovin.
Based. Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm soon adopting a new name, by the way, so I'm going to go by a new name soon.
Have you thought of it yet, and you just haven't unveiled it, or
it's going to be my baptismal name? So
that's what I'm saying. Have you thought of it already, or
I have,
or you're going to figure it out in the future?
I have thought about it. I'm pretty sure that I'm taking it. I've also told my spiritual father about it, and he said it would be an honor. So I just don't know if I'm supposed to say it right now. Anyway, who's going to tell him Jews wrote the Bible? What? How dare you? Who told you this? Did Jews tell you this, John the Presbyter?
You see, this is how they duped you with their Schofield Bible.
David would St. Paul writing Galatians, those damn Rothschilds.
Yes, Saul Rothschild. We've already been through this. Saul of Rothschilds.
Gotub says, guys, this Bible thing is quite Jewy. P.G. Schofield took our wonderful positive Bibles and turned our beautiful Arian Jesus and Paul and turned them into Jews. I flashed this a few times, but I actually have a
Don't be
very, very
flashing.
nice recommendation for a book, which has a very inflammatory sounding title, but it is called The Aryan Jesus. And it is about the Nazi attack on Christianity and how they actually tried to change Christianity and change the Bible for a new Bible that would be in line with their Nazi ideas and so on. Mentioning Aryan Jesus reminds me of, unironically, of this, where the Nazis were actually trying to take the figure of Christ, detach him from anything Jewish, and turn him into a strong figure who stood up against the Jews or something like that. Instead of taking the essence of his humility and sacrifice, they were trying to turn him into a strong guy who's fighting the Jews. Pretty messed up. Pretty messed up. Like legal name, no. I'm just so when you get baptized, you take a new name that you are known by, usually a name by a saint, a known saint, or by a feast day or something like that. Some people just go with something about Mother Mary, and I decided to take a name that is going to be based on a certain Saint Martin that I've
You
always
just said it.
loved. So
You just said it's going to be based.
it's going to be it's probably going to be Martin,
You can't go by Martin.
or it will be probably
You don't look like a Martin.
what the hell does it even mean?
I'm just saying, certain people look like their names, and you don't look like Martin.
Sankt Martin, or it will be a Latin or a Greek variant of it. That's it. So
Martini.
Martinus.
Your
Schofield.
hey.
What?
Your new name should be Saint Martini, shaken, like a Muslim shake, shaken, not stirred.
Oh,
Channel name. Boom.
that's good.
And you got everything in there, man.
That's good, man. That's good, man. No, not Martin.
No. Martini, why you shaking?
You see. Orthodox Phronesis says, Apostate Prophet, hello friend. So glad to hear you're coming to the new Israel, the Orthodox Church. I pray you will look into this dispensationalism more. Our saints write about it. First off, thanks. Secondly, I'm not sure what you're talking about, considering that I don't subscribe to dispensationalism.
It's so. How many times do we have to explain this?
I don't defend dispensationalism. I don't believe in dispensationalism. I don't like dispensationalism. I think it's a very bad misreading of the Bible. This is also not what I'm about.
Yeah, it's they seem to think if you don't believe that Jews should be slaughtered in the name of Allah by jihadis, then it must be because you got a dispensationalist view from the Schofield Bible. Guys, we just happen to disagree. We think it's basic Christianity that you shouldn't want tons of people to be slaughtered in the name of people who are created in the image of God, being slaughtered in the name of Allah.
It's even better than that. I'm going to do something right now. I didn't want to do it, but I'm going to do it right now. In communion. Let's see. There is a certain metropolitan, a bishop, that is very, very prominent in the Greek Orthodox Church, who was an British bishop known by the name of Metropolitan Callistos Ware, or Timothy Ware. Was it Timothy? Pretty sure it was Timothy, wasn't it? I just know him as Callistos. What is his name? Callistos. Metropolitan Callistos Ware. Yeah, Timothy. He wrote a very, very interesting thing about this specific issue. And I wasn't going to bring it up. I was not going to bring it up, but I'm going to do it right now. And he wrote an article that is called, Has God Rejected His People? Now, since some people want to make it look like, oh, you have to be, if you want to be Orthodox, then you have to follow our strand of Orthodox, and those who on our side say Jews evil. I'm sorry. Here's what I like and what I subscribe to, and this is have some humility. This is a bishop you're talking to. Let's look at it right here. So, has God rejected his people? And for those who don't know, this is a very, very famous, a very popular, lovely to listen to, English Orthodox bishop, Callistus Ware.
Now that's a cool name. That's a way cooler name than Martini.
Yeah. He's very, very wonderful. He also wrote 2 very, very famous books named The Orthodox Church and The Orthodox Way, which are very widely known among Orthodox Christians. And now he wrote the following. You're going to make me read the whole thing now. Look. This is what he wrote in, let's see, when was that? Reprinted from In Communion, issue 6, October 1996. Here it is. Here we go. Are you ready for this, dear Orthodox? Listen, dear Orthodox. Let me take a sip here, dear Orthodox. Let me take a sip here, dear Orthodox, and let's listen to it.
Hey, one possible name is call yourself John of Damascus 2.0.
I'm doing that right now.
I'm just tossing out ideas. John of Damascus 2.0. Or
Here.
John of Damascus upgrade.
Here. By Bishop Callistus of Dioclea. Making my way home at Oxford in the evening, I used to pass a hot dog seller who always greeted me in a cheerful and friendly tone with the words, "Good night, Rabbi." Surely, I thought, it is an honor to be so addressed, for rabbi, teacher, is exactly what Jesus was called by his disciples during his earthly life. The title rabbi, little though we may deserve it, brings us close to Christ himself. In Cyprus, incidentally, it is still the custom to address the priest as daskale, which is short for didaskale, teacher, the Greek equivalent to rabbi. For in the past, before there were regular village schools, the parish priest used to gather the children in a church and teach them to read, using as his textbook the Psalter. On other occasions, also because of my beard and black clothing, people have mistaken me for a Jew and called me a rabbi. They have spoken, however, not in the friendly tone of the hot dog seller, but with obvious contempt and hostility. You see the perspective here. This has led me to reflect with some disquiet on the persistent presence in Britain, 50 years after the Holocaust, of a widespread anti-Jewish prejudice lurking just beneath the surface. And not in Britain only, all too often in the lands that are traditionally Orthodox, whether Greek, Slav, or of other nationalities. There exists a virulent anti-Semitism, far worse than anything normally encountered in this country. How great is our need here as Orthodox for repentance, metanoia, change of mind. Metanoia is full repentance, change of mind. I hope the Orthodox here is listening still, because I know it's very popular right now to be to go online and to share your views and your meals with the Jew-hating crowds, and go all about how Israel is the greatest evil in the world, and how Jews are evil and Jews control everything and Zionism bad and so on. I hope you're still listening, because here now we have actual Greek Orthodox authority speaking. In thinking about the people of Israel, let us take St. Paul as our model. Okay. In thinking about the people of Israel, let us take St. Paul as our model. How did he, as a Jewish Christian...
The apostle or the city?
The city. How did he, as a Jewish Christian, feel about his fellow Jews who had not accepted Christ? We find the answer in today's epistle, Romans 9, 1-5. Reflecting on the rejection of Christ by most of his nation, Paul's reaction is not anger, not bitterness or resentment, but overwhelming grief. I have great sorrow and unceasing anguish in my heart. Although his fellow Jews do not acknowledge Christ as Messiah and Son of God, Paul remains acutely conscious of his continuing solidarity with them. He does not cease to look on them as his kinsfolk, his sisters and brothers, and he says that he would rather be accursed and cut off from Christ than saved without them. That's how much he loved them.
And you see the impact of Christianity on him.
Yeah.
that he would be willing to sacrifice himself for others.
He says, I would rather be cut off and eternally suffer than be saved without them.
You see, this
I
means he
wish.
hated them.
I wish, he says. Doubtless he has the example of Moses in mind. See Exodus 32:32. Paul goes on to speak of the special blessings that God has given to the people of Israel. To them belongs the sonship. Romans 9:4. And he's not just making this up, for those who are wondering, for those who haven't ever actually read it. And I'm not judging here, just saying. You might not have read it. Here is the quote, Romans 9:4. The people of Israel, theirs is the adoption to sonship, theirs the divine glory, the covenants, the receiving of the law, the temple worship, and the promises. This whole chapter is very, very romantic. Theirs are the patriarchs, and from them is traced the human ancestry of the Messiah, who is God over all, forever praised. Amen. Now, this might even sound like parts of this will sound offensive to Jews. But the thing is, you can be offensive toward each other by believing in different things and disagreeing with each other while having love for each other and not giving into the stupid hatred here. God has adopted them in a particular and specific way. Paul is probably thinking of such texts in the Old Testament as Exodus 4:22. Thus says the Lord, Israel is my firstborn son. Or Hosea 11:1. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I have called my son. What God said to Israel, St. Paul believes, remains as true as ever. Israel is still God's son. To the Israelites belong likewise the doxa, or glory, Romans 9:4, the Shekinah, the uncreated splendor of God's manifest presence that overshadowed the Jewish people in the desert, Exodus 16:10, 24:16, prefiguring the glory of Christ's transfiguration on Mount Tabor. Among the gifts bestowed on Israel, Paul mentions next the covenants, Romans 9:4, speaking in the plural, for there is not just one covenant, but a whole series of constantly renewed covenants in the course of the Old Testament, with Noah, Genesis 6:16, 9:9, with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then with Moses and the Jewish people at Sinai. Equally, the Israelites have been entrusted by God with the law, with the worship of the tabernacle and the temple, and with the promises of the coming Messiah. Most important of all, it is from the people of Israel that Christ our God took his humanity, Romans 9:4-5. Jesus was a Jew, and so also, we may add, was his mother. And I think that, especially if you're a Catholic or Orthodox Christian, this aspect here is very, very important. You believe that that Mother Mary, as the vessel for the Son of God, plays a hugely important role here, and she was a Jew of Jews. Does Paul think that all these blessings have been revoked, all these privileges cancelled because the great majority of the Jewish people have rejected Christ? Not at all. Not at all. Let us see what follows today's epistle reading for chapters 9 to 11 in Romans from a close-knit unity. Later in chapter 9, Paul insists that even though no more than a small remnant of Israel has so far accepted Christ, the divine plan has not been defeated, for in place of the Jews, God has called the Gentiles. Next, in chapter 10, the apostle refuses to regard this act of rejection on the Jewish side as something final. So he does not see it as something final. With far-ranging, unquenchable hope, he looks beyond the present situation to the time when, so he is convinced, the whole of Israel will finally turn to Christ. Now, this is a section where religious Jews might see this as a problem. But again, don't see it as a problem. It is one of hope and love and reconciliation. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for them is that they may be saved. Not just a remnant among them, but every one. And Paul is confident that this prayer will be answered, for he affirms, not as a possibility, but as a fact, all Israel will be saved. All Israel will be saved. 11:26. This means that in Paul's eyes, the Israelites, this is the most important part in my opinion, and then I think the last paragraph here. This is very, very important. This means that in Paul's eyes, the Israelites are still most emphatically the chosen people. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, my dear Orthodox friend? who was telling me about dispensationalism, who was telling me about the Jews lost favor, and who was telling me about Israel bad, and so on. Do you hear this, my dear Orthodox friend? This is not just me. This is not just some rando. This is not just some random guy posting on Twitter. This is a bishop of the Greek Orthodox Church. This is Metropolitan Bishop Kallistos, who is now deceased. He's dead. I think he died several years ago. What a respected figure. This means that in Paul's eyes, I repeat, the Israelites are still most emphatically the chosen people. I ask then, has God rejected his people? By no means. God has not rejected his people whom he foreknew. In God's all-embracing plan, the people of Israel still have a unique and distinctive vocation. Do you understand? They are still specially beloved by God. 11:29. For the gifts and the call of God are irrevocable. This is directly in the Bible. This shouldn't be a question. It's directly in the Bible. What is more, when the Jewish people eventually turn to Christ, this will prove an enrichment to the total church, which lies far beyond our present imagining. If their failure means riches for the Gentiles, how much more will their full inclusion mean? 11:12. To the Christian community as a whole, their conversion will be nothing less than life from the dead. And this is the hopeful situation where you don't force these people to convert. You have love for them and respect for them. Let us all inscribe, and this is very beautiful here, let us all inscribe these words of St. Paul upon our hearts indelibly in letters of fire. Never for one moment let us forget the incalculable loss which Christianity has suffered through the early separation between the church and the synagogue. Let us long, as Paul does, for the ending of that separation. Do you hear that? Let us long, as Paul does, for the ending of that separation, and let us keep steadfastly in view his confident expectation that, willingly and by their own free choice, the Jewish people as a whole will eventually accept Christ as God and Savior. And until that happens, pay attention to these words. I will read them twice or thrice. David, pay attention. You're not paying attention here. And until that happens, let us never, by deed or word, show the slightest disrespect or hatred for the people of Israel. And this is not talking about your new Israel. It's not talking about Christians. It is talking about the Jewish people of Israel. Let us never, by deed or word, show the slightest disrespect or hatred for the people of Israel. They are still God's chosen people. There you go. I beg you then to make your own St. Paul's great sorrow and unceasing anguish, and I ask you also to hold fast to his ultimate hope that all Israel will be saved. That's it. The author is Assistant Bishop of the Diocese of Caesarea of Great Britain, as well as Spalding.
And so this is what happens when you read the Scofield Bible, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it here. You saw it here first.
This is it. You want me to listen to orthodoxy? You want me to listen to authority? There you have it. This is your authority. You want to say that this is just my opinion and just a layman, a catechumen? No. This is opinion, man. Bishop Metropolitan Kallistos. Him. I don't listen to you, boy. I would rather listen to him. There you go. But are you going to now reject this and insult him and prefer others who agree with your opinion instead?
Yes. Hey, so I was looking up names for you. I looked up Turkish saints. There's a bunch of them, but they didn't have names.
I'm not going to go with no Turkish saint, man. I already made my choice.
No. Their names aren't cool enough. But I looked up Armenian. I looked up Armenian because it's kind of in the ballpark. And there's Saint Gregory the Illuminator. I have to say, the Illuminator, that sounds pretty dope and based. If you went by AP the Illuminator, man,
That's funny.
AP the Illuminator. Ridvan the Illuminator.
That's funny.
Saint Ridvan the Illuminator. That sounds
Anyway,
amazing.
David, is your mind blown now after we read this?
Mhm.
See?
Yeah, because I was just thinking like Schofield, but then you've got this dude
This is the funny thing. Like,
and his hot dog story.
This is Protestant dispensationalism, Christian Zionism, Schofield. This all started because of Jews and Protestant evangelical Schofield Zionist Christian
Isn't it funny?
dispensationalist.
Isn't it funny?
This is an Orthodox metropolitan bishop, man.
Yeah, but look, the Rothschilds, they paid like piles of shekels to Schofield to publish their new version of the Bible, and then that new version of the Bible spreads around the world until it gets to this bishop here.
This is very, very funny. This is the problem with much of the Orthodox online scene, where they think that Orthodoxy is this form of Christianity where they can be as based as possible, but then they don't actually listen to the people. They pick out one or two people and they think, "Oh, I'm just going to be Orthodox and super based." You're not Orthodox. You just worship hating Jews, or you worship Putin, for example. Anyway, let's not be stupid. Let's not be ridiculous. Read the book. Listen to the scholars. Schofield took our wonderful positive Bibles and turned our beautiful Arian Jesus and Paul and turned them into Jews. Drogs, Skawigu, anti-Semites, those of you who hate the Jews, why did you adopt their religion? Nietzsche. Christianity is Greco-Roman Judaism. Islam is Arab Judaism. Islam is very, very different at all. Very, very different. Christianity is a form of Judaism, basically. That's it. It's a powerful form of it. A beautiful form of it. Giovanni Garcia, yeah, what Goathub said, I bet you Jesus was Jewish too, you see. Elijah Perry says, Douglas's comment of English exposed his sophistry and weak grasp of military history and international law. Even pro-Smith commenters replied mostly with sarcasm. I didn't get there yet, but yeah, we couldn't watch it, so.
No, we can't watch it. Thanks, Joe Rogan.
You see?
Thanks, Joe Rogan, media manager. Scumbag.
You see. Ligimathigoyon says, the revisionism of these idiots is disgusting. If Churchill didn't escalate World War II, Hitler would have marched to the Urals, the Nile, Lisbon, and beyond, purifying everyone in his tracks. Then he would have consolidated and attacked the Anglosphere anyway. That was the plan. Hitler was hoping and expecting that some would not jump in, and that he could freely, through intimidations and threats, continue taking and taking and taking. It was a really, really messed up issue. I'm glad Churchill saved Europe. Ziagra Salesforce says, just like KFC Canada, we do support 100% halal slaughter. I sure won't be disappointed, yeah? Giovanni Garcia appealed to the Quran. Giovanni Garcia, the Jews were Jewish, agreed upon. They were? I don't know, man. I don't know about that. Were the Jews really Jewish? I'm not really sure about that. Holy Joe, it would be funny to see a Twitter Nazi Christian debate, a pagan Nazi who claims that Christianity was a scheme by the Jews to subjugate the world. There is one infamous guy on Twitter who follows me around and who is a pagan Nazi who basically trolls Christians all the time, trolls Christian Nazis all the time, which doesn't really work. It's an oxymoron. You can't be a Christian and a Nazi. It doesn't work. It's stupid. Mumu Joe. Joe does not do debates about one issue. Joe does not obsess about one issue. Dave does. Dave is an expert. Douglas made a good point about the current intellectuals in media. That's it. Empty Dave experts? Pfft. Anyway, Amnesty International says. Basically.
It's basically.
Motherholder, Dave Smith's argument the rest of the podcast will prove that he knows more than Murray. Stop using Ian's flaws against Smith. Love you two all the same. Thank you, but Dave Smith, I've heard plenty of Dave Smith and read plenty of him. He knows little, he knows next to nothing about the history of the region. He doesn't know much about Gaza. He doesn't know much about Israel. He doesn't know much about anything. What's very funny is I saw a clip from the episode where Douglas Murray basically put him on the spot and asked him if he agrees that Gaza is a concentration camp or was a concentration camp. And he was like, well, it sure shares some similarities. I actually found a tweet where he says that it is a concentration camp. The guy can't even stand behind his own words. He's a hypocrite. Dave Smith is a hypocrite.
You're a hypocrite.
Thank you. Goifos, you seen movie where Muslim time travel to kill Jesus? What? No, I haven't. Is there such a movie? Subconscious ambience, Dave physically looking over to his dad for approval. Peace be upon me. I'd love to see you guys do a stream about John Damascus. That would be based. David, do you want to do that?
Yeah, I just said this like a week ago. I said we should. I know a scholar who's written multiple books on John of Damascus.
You see.
We should have him on.
You see. Bill Cynic says, AP, I think you would like the book St. Paul the Pharisee by Father Stephen DeYoung. Basic thesis, St. Paul was a faithful Pharisee his whole life, and forgetting this in historical context causes errors. The funny thing is that my sponsor in the church, who is a very, very good guy, also just recommended to me to read this book. And I bought the book. In fact, I think my wife has the book. So I got the book and decided to read it. The thing is, I'm a little bit prejudiced and a little bit disappointed when it comes to Father Stephen DeYoung, because he also has another book which is called The Religion of the Apostles. And I started reading it, and I immediately started spotting some very, very big false claims. So it seems that this book is recommended because because he makes the connection of St. Paul being as Jewish as it gets and Christianity being Jewish in origin. But in his other book, he makes some weird arguments, such as that Rabbinic Judaism only came into existence 500 years after Christianity, that most Jews in the time of Christ accepted Christ and became Christians and stuff like that. This is complete nonsense. And I find it a little bit strange that he started his book that way. But I'll check out this book and see how it goes. Okay. Oh wait, I'm here. EON defends Zionism. This is a material and formal heresy, even absent the context of the situation. Andrew Wilson has low IQ on theology, but you're signing up to be dunked on. No, there is no single doctrine in Orthodoxy that says that you cannot be Zionist or that you cannot support Israel. This is complete nonsense. Prove it to me. Show to me that in Eastern Orthodoxy it is forbidden. Show to me that in Eastern Orthodoxy there is a doctrine that basically that makes it incompatible or impossible to defend the existence of the state of Israel. Show it to me. I dare you. There simply is not. There is not. What I can tell you is you probably will see that certain ideas like Christian Zionism are incompatible with Orthodoxy. I know. Nothing to do with the topic, though. Christian Zionism and Zionism are two different things. I don't subscribe to Christian Zionism. Arctic-based, too much weed in the studio. No wonder Douglas looks a bit clouded. Does spicy ramen. During a work conversation, I caught myself saying powerful stuff. Blessed Palm Sunday, AP. Oh, hi, David. I love how some of these comments are just, oh, hi.
Yeah, that's really picked up over the past couple weeks.
Yes. That's true. Storm D says Orthodox would rather have Muslims control the land. Pathetic. Yeah. They say, no, it should belong to Christians. Yeah, good luck with that, man. Good luck with that. You're leaving it to Muslims and being useful idiots. That's
Orthobros paving the way for Islam like atheists.
You see. For those who
Orthobros.
Moody Bot says actually Christian Zionism is not particularly enjoyed by Zionists. Yeah, lots of Zionists actually have a problem with the idea of Christian Zionism a little bit. And once again, if you think that when somebody calls themselves Zionist or somebody defends Israel, they're talking about Christian Zionism, I would suggest you look up the difference between Christian Zionism and just Zionism. These are two different things. You see. Basic Marxist revisionism been going on for decades. Example, the rebels were terrorists and the empire were the true good guys. You see. Bash, you may ask, AP, how you got that scar on your face? I have one on the same angle, literally exactly the same position. I feel in a concrete slab, aged 3. You mean the one here at the top? I have like 50,000 scars on my face. They call me Scarface. I think this one is just a little wrinkle here. But I got a scar over here, which happened when I was a little child, and apparently I fell down from some toy and hit my forehead on the corner of furniture and had to be stitched or something.
Allah knew what you would do when He punished you in advance.
He punished you when you were a child because of what you would do later on in life, you see. Arctic base, World War II was virtually won by the Red Army. 4 out of every 5 Nazi soldiers killed by the Soviets. Britain didn't do that much, really. The West sided with one evil dictator to defeat another, just saying. I would say that this is nonsense. The Soviets had a very, 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 very difficult time fighting against the Nazis. And they had so many brutal losses. It very, very much depended on Britain jumping in and turning things around. And the Soviets had it coming. They collaborated with the Nazis until they were betrayed by the Nazis.
Yeah, Britain fighting the Germans made it a two-front war. I think they would again, I think they eventually would have lost regardless, because other places would have gotten more, like the United States would have gotten more and more involved. But having a two-front war, much more difficult than a one-front war. And if they had just had a one-front war in either direction, I think they would have eventually won it.
Yeah,
I mean, won that portion.
Irregardlessly, you see. And we have to point out that the Soviets were pretty messed up, and were probably, I wouldn't say that they were as evil as the Nazis, but they were very, very evil as well.
They're in that ballpark. They're on the evil end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And
the good thing about the Soviets is that they oppressed everybody.
Yeah.
They didn't particularly pick and choose. They were like, just oppress everybody who doesn't listen. Oppress everybody that we don't think perfectly fits. They were also very paranoid. You know, when the Soviets took over, when the Bolsheviks took over, they only had like the support of a quarter of the country, of the nation, like 25% or so of people had voted for them. 37%. No, I think 23% voted for the Bolsheviks, the Bolsheviks, and like 37% of Russia had voted for social democrats who were or social revolutionary. I forgot their names, man. This was ages ago. Who were opponents of the Bolsheviks, but who were also leftists. The Bolsheviks basically took power and then shut down and started locking up and killing and exiling and torturing everybody who opposed them. It's like they were sick, messed up people who took power and brutally murdered, killed, locked up, exiled every single force that opposed them, and then made it look like the people wanted them. That's what they did. The Bolsheviks, the Soviets, they were really, really, really messed up. They oppressed the church. They brutally oppressed the church and oppressed all religious groups. They did sick things like suspecting people of collaborating against the Soviet republics, and then just abducting people, torturing them, killing them, then going outside after when they are dead and dumping their bodies in random places so that nobody can find their bodies anymore. There are so many people who died, whose bodies were never found, whose graves are unknown, because these people just had no regard for anyone's sensitivities. They were really, really messed up. The Nazis and the Soviets were like two sides of the same coin. They were sick people. What a sick time in Europe. Anyway, Fox McCloud, it feels like the truth is fighting against a cynical view of history and bad actors. That's true. Tarun Touch says veganism is good. No, it says, hey guys, what is both your favorite food, by the way? Yeah, vegan.
Probably steak.
Just
I don't mean to
asking
throw
what
that
they
in your
both
face.
like
I don't
to
mean to
eat.
throw that in your face, Tyrone, but a good probably ribeye steak,
There
medium
you go.
rare.
Ian. So David likes to eat rabbis. That's what he likes to do.
Mm.
I personally don't eat juice. I only eat.
Not like a good old slice of rabbi. Good rabbi steak, medium rare.
Justin Key. What do you call a gay Nazi? Unalived. Powerful. Tarun Touch. My absolute favorite food is chicken parm. Good. I'm happy for you. Bashi, did Jews do anything pre-Nazi for this reaction? No, they didn't. Let's see. Fish Tank edits New Israel is the Orthodox Church, not a state created by psychopathics, Jace. Yeah, and you can We are one says, and Arafat was mentioned by al-Husseini, Hitler's closest friend in the Middle East. Lefties, Nazism bad. Also lefties, Arafat was a peaceful man. Yeah. Daniel Grun, Douglas Murray is so based. He like Chuck Norris. He doesn't get shook by earthquakes. He creates them by shaking the ground. Fox McCloud, to be fair, both left and right have been united in stupidity as of late. Very, very much so. Eric Barlow, the Muslim Brotherhood is the last vestige of fascism. They were allied with Hitler and had SS units ready to go when the British Mandate of Palestine had Rommel been successful. True. Fish Brain says something fishy. Rabbinic Judaism is not Old Testament Judaism. Old Testament Judaism was fulfilled in the Orthodox Church in New Israel. This is a very stupid argument. The only reason you could argue that Rabbinic Judaism is not the same as Old Testament Judaism is that the two evolved at some point. By the same logic, you should also say that Second Temple Judaism is not the same Judaism as Judaism in the time of Moses, because they evolved. Therefore, it's different. You're dumb. I'm sorry. You're just dumb. You don't think very much. Also, by your logic, I know how you are going to justify this claim here that Rabbinic Judaism is not Old Testament Judaism. By your logic, Christianity as we have it today is not the Christianity of the first century. Easy peasy. Show me a New Testament canon from the first century. You cannot. Giovanni Garcia, Hitler is the new Hitler. True. Noam Lifshitz, hope his ancestors are proud, you see. And by the way, this was not meant to refute the New Testament canon. This was just meant to show you the mirror and say a religion's organization evolves, which doesn't mean that it's not the same religion anymore. You apply these stupid standards to Jews. You never ever reflect and think about your own religion, because you're not arguing from a good place. You're arguing from a really, really messed up, dishonest, hateful place. That's what you're doing. Fox McCloud, that the problem of overuse of the Hitler racist white supremacist label, after a while it loses its mojo. True. Metalmorphosis, for all you jackos in chat saying Cooper meant earlier, ask ChatGPT if H-Man was ever covert about his hatred for Jews. DS is barely funny comedian trying to be relevant, and sorry, Rogan has reach, but he is not smart. Powerful. Curiosity, AP, what happened to your mustache on left side? I picked it and broke it. If you're Orthodox, do not listen to Apostate Prophet. Well, good. I just read from an Orthodox metropolitan. Should people listen to him, or should they listen to your fish tank edits here?
Got to
Should
go with
people listen to
fish tank edits.
Should people listen to a bishop, a hierarch in the Orthodox Church, or should they listen to fish tank edits?
Got to go with the fish tank.
No, don't listen to a hierarch of the church. Listen to fish tank. Fish tank.
Fish tank. Fish tank. Fish tank.
Fish tank will teach you the real orthodoxy. How dare a hierarch even talk about this? Don't listen to Patriarch Bartholomew. Don't listen to any church authority. Don't listen to anyone who has authority. Listen to Fish Tank. Fish Tank is the authority. Fish Tank will teach you the true orthodoxy. Fish Tank.
Oh boy.
Oh God. MT, Trump was the villain in the war on ISIS. Same energy as Churchill was the villain. I voted for Trump, but he at least these our words feel emboldened. Yes. But hate these, yes. Arctic base, but it isn't called transubstantiation, you see. Fox McCloud, Pope Francis, loving the truth means not only affirming it, but rather living and bearing witness to it in your work. Powerful. It's also a very, very, very biblical concept. So, Lil Joseph, Mo beheaded all the male of the Jewish tribe with pubic hair. This is true. Change comes from within, says Hitler's world domination is a direct hit by Satan on God, who said Jews will never be destroyed. Genesis 22:17. One world government destroyed in Babel will never happen. God is bringing his own one world government. Matthew 6:10. New heaven on earth. Powerful. Edgar Bonn, AP hates Hitler, but his stash says otherwise.
His stash is slowly becoming more Hitler-esque.
My stash is
Slowly
betraying me.
over time.
I'm here
He's still
bashing
going.
Hitler, and I say Hitler was horrible. My mustache is like, really?
Oh, really?
Giovanni Garcia, everyone just needs to become Muslim and we won't have any of these issues. Exactly. This is the solution. Convert to Islam. Let's all advocate for pedophilia. Wonderful. Austin, my grandfather was put in a concentration camp at 5 years old, and my Opa was told, fight for us or your family dies. Yep. Radical cleric, Hitler got the idea of the Übermensch from a book called The Gay Science. The Nazis should be remembered as the closeted gay neo-pagans they are.
It's die fröhliche Wissenschaft.
Yeah.
The gay science.
They really abused Nietzsche in a very, very brutal way, his writings. Nietzsche despised the Jew haters, and they literally took his words as example and built their ideology on it. So funny. David Wood, just rewatching Islam as me. Halal Hogan is the best, followed by When John Comes Out as Shia. How did that come about, by the way?
Halal Hogan, it's weird. We invented the character, vocab, just improving, invented the character before we knew that Sam could do an impression of Hulk Hogan. So vocab just says, yeah, you were like Halal Hogan. We filmed the scene where we're beating up the pimp because we had him like Muhammad Hijab. We had a Muta wife. And anyway, there's a scene where the pimp comes in because we after hiring the Muta wife, I beat her because she wasn't listening, and in accordance with Surah 4 verse 34 of the Quran. Anyway, then the pimp comes to settle the score, and it's not clear whether we kill him or just beat him up and so on. Anyway, we come back in, we're all stoked that we beat up or killed a pimp or something like this, and vocab goes, you were like Halal Hogan. So we're just making up something. And then we were on our way to the airport later, and vocab asks Sam, he goes, can you do any impressions? And he says, well, let me tell you something, brother. And he starts doing a perfect. And so it just light flash. We can make this an actual character. So that's where Halal Hogan came from.
Arctic Base says, AP, trust me, I'm a historian. That's good. E4 Mafia, who are you talking about? Can you tell me who you're talking about? I'll be on the lookout. I'll be on the lookout. Giovanni Garcia, your sins were like a big cloud, but I wiped them all away. Your sins are gone, like a cloud that disappears into thin air. I rescued and protected you, so come back to me. Beast. Salt, just want to say hello. Hello. Giovanni Garcia, Jesus wants you all to come home. Powerful. Alhamdulillah. Darkwing says, neither Joe or Dave has had Jake Shields on their podcast where he's friends with him. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Joe Rogan had Jake Shields on his podcast, I think more than once. He also knows him personally. Dave Smith is good friends with Jake Shields. He even was on his podcast. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? Giovanni Garcia, for whoever reads needs to hear this, Jesus suffered a suffering undeserving to him. For you, he loves you. You are his lost sheep. Let him guide you back to his herd. Amen. Powerful. Arctic base. Someone recently told me they had found Jesus. I said, "Oh, great! I didn't know he was lost. Oh, many looks could kill. Pretty bad." Holy Joe, they got you. You see the proof. Yes, this is true. You see the Jews shut down the stream. This is after we got shut down. People still made super chats here. This is the proof. You see, certain people keep coping. Did Joe Rogan just nuke? We broke the internet. Good job. All right. B Momo gets suplexed by demon in cave. Start new religion. Powerful. And now it's time for the rest of. What the hell, man?
What?
We have 43 super chats here.
Yep. Pretty slick of AP deliberately shutting down his other stream so that he could double up on super chats. People fell for it. People fell for it. That's what they do. Hey, do something to get this one shut down and then record all these and we'll start another one. And then as you're reading all these from your recording, then people will post a bunch of new ones. We'll just keep doing that all night.
I was just thinking, wow, man, we got through all the super chats. Very, very nice. And then here I look on my screen, it's 43 super
Wrong, 44 it says.
I shouldn't be complaining, but it's very tiring.
Got to do it.
Jack Ray Base saves the super chats. Thank you. That's what we do. Kate Corsamom, try reacting to the 50-minute Joe Rogan clip. It might work. No.
Oh, no, it would not. Because keep in mind, as far as the algorithm knows, we only got through 6 minutes, and that's in small little bits, and it still got it.
Shmo Yogan says, I will fight you again. Lekima Thingayon, why do totally not Joe Rogan and totally not Dave Smith and totally not Candace and totally not Jake Shields sent their retard flying monkeys to shut down the stream? I'm just asking questions.
Good point.
Emily Todicescu. Emily, what's up? The final peekaboo restoration of the copyrighted stream. Cut to David singing Edelweiss in high falsetto. Did you do that?
That sounds like something I did.
Edelweiss,
Edelweiss.
Doubt that I'll ever recover. What happened to our stream? I think it's down. I think it's gone now.
Is it
It's
gone?
hidden. What the hell?
What?
Yeah, it's gone. It's not visible anymore. They actually blocked the stream.
Well, that's you got to see if they give you any penalty for that.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Important notifications. Your video, not a debate review of Douglas Murray and Dave Smith, is blocked due to one or more copyright claims. This is not a copyright strike and doesn't affect your channel. Good.
Okay, as long as because I was saying while he was putting up the new one that you might have to go to war over this if you get a strike.
I will go to war. I will kill you all.
We'll humiliate him.
Copyright, protected content found, visibility, restricted. Your copyright claim don't affect your channel. Okay, all right. As long as you don't try to take my channel, as long as you don't try to take my video, everything is good. Good.
First of all, no, we're not good. That's screwed up. And Joe Rogan, get a new tech guy, get a new media manager because it sucks.
I will never ever mention Joe Rogan again.
Who?
What?
Who?
Chris Creative, have you addressed people using the Talmud as a way to get Christians to hate Jews, saying what it says about Jesus, etc.?
We've gone through some of that stuff in a couple of shows where we looked up people's what people were posting and gone through some Nick Fuentes clips and gone through people's memes. So yeah, we've responded to that stuff occasionally.
Slightly, a little bit. I mean, there are parts of it that are kind of unaddressed, but some people actually think. Where's that? I have a book here. Look what it says in the book. Look what it says. It says the Talmud. There are people out there online who post about Jews who actually think this is the Talmud. Like they actually think this is what the Talmud is because this is like.
I mean, in their defense, it says it right there.
They think this is what the Talmud is. I've seen people post stuff like, "Yeah, I spit on the Talmud," and they actually post this, and that's what they spit on. This is a book that explains the Talmud, that explains certain aspects of the Talmud. The actual Talmud is a library. There's not a single Jew-hating person who has actually read the Talmud. There's not a single. You cannot convince me that there is actually somebody out there of those people who has actually read the Talmud.
I can think of one, Jake Shields. And I can think of another, Candace Owens. Boom. You've been refuted.
The Talmud is 2.5 million words, or 2 million words, or something like that. It's like
Yeah, but I mean, Jake Shields clearly reads 2 million words a minute.
You see, there are one or two references that talk about a Yeshua and a Yeshu, and the funny thing about those references is that none of those references actually corresponds to the time or the circumstances of Jesus. But one or two of those mention certain things, such as that he was a person who was leading the Jewish people astray and calling them to idolatry, and that he goes to hell. And then it's also funny that what is also pointed out in those texts, and this is just an instance of one rabbi having an opinion and talking about this and saying this. He then points out that compared to another prophet who was leading people astray and who was not Jewish, this one actually cared about Jews, and he was doing it out of care for his fellow Jews, which is why his punishment would be less than the other one. Now, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's give the anti-Semites the benefit of the doubt and say all of this is completely accurate, and those references are actual references to Jesus Christ, and that he is actually being bashed and described as somebody who goes to hell. Okay, so what? So what? The situation here is that there is one rabbi in the Talmudic texts which covers about 0.000000001% of the entire Talmudic library. There's one rabbi who says something in passing, which certain people have picked out and said, this is what the Talmud says. This is why Jews hate Christ and hate Christians. This is nonsense. That's not how the Talmud works. Most Jews have never even heard of this. Most Jews have never even encountered this. Most who study the Torah and the Talmud have never even encountered this. Because it is simply something that is mentioned in passing, that is not even about Christianity. It is about idolatry, and about what Jews can and can't believe, and so on. And what happens to Jews who adopt false beliefs. That's what it's about. It is commentary by a rabbi, by an ancient rabbi, and Jews don't even agree what it's actually about. It simply mentions somebody named Yeshua in passing. That's it. This is not a scriptural text that Jews hold to. If you ask the average Jew what he thinks about Jesus, they will say, I don't think anything about him. And let's say they all actually, in this insanely absurd world, actually thought Jesus was a false prophet and he was wrong and we don't believe in him and we think he's punished. So what? So what? You as a Christian believe that they are not attaining salvation, that they are all misled and misguided, that their leaders are liars and wrong, and that they will probably go to hell or something. This is just a situation. This is just a result of not sharing each other's beliefs. So what? I tell you one thing, the first people out of the Jews and the Christians, the first who actually imported official declarations of condemnation against the other side were the Christians, who introduced in around 100 AD official condemnations into their writings about the Jews. Around the same time, it is argued that the Jews in their synagogues adopted certain condemnations against heretics, because they were arguing that the heretics were destroying the Jews. Among those heretics, it is assumed that Christians were also included. The two sides started fighting very early on with each other. But guess what? Until the 300s, the Jews and the Christians were still sharing common beliefs. Many Christians were still going to synagogues, and so on. It's all not that simple. It's so stupid. Anyway, David, in your face. Chris Creative, how you address people using the term...
Hey, you should read that like 17 more times.
Yes. Sheikh McWinchell, Alhamdulillah, AP, I'm glad you see the truth. Now, if you just revert to Islam and your stream will be perfectly preserved.
Valid point.
Powerful. Giovanni Garcia, yo what? David is up there with John Lennox and with WLC. That's actually insane. I know, man.
Yeah, here's the thing. So on the issue of Islam, I would know more than these guys. As far as like Christian apologetics, they would know massively more than I do and be massively effective. What happened with me is I caught on to YouTube before everyone else did. So that got my ideas out there very quickly, even though these guys have been thinking a lot more about a lot more of these issues for a lot longer and know a lot more.
Sky, you just took my statement about, I just told you, even if this were true in an insanely absurd world, so what? That's what I just said to you. The point of that was that this is not true about Jews, but that even if it were true in an insanely absurd fantasy world, so what? You just completely disregarded the point of it and said, well, so what? So you're saying that Jews believe horrible things about Christians?
Yeah, what AP did is called an even if, but in fact response.
How am I even supposed to communicate anything to you, Sky?
You can't. It can't be done.
Oh man, I know David is even up in the list with James White. Man, it's insane. Actually, insane. James White. I mean, David is getting really popular. Toronto, she was mentally enslaved and molested to him, though. That's true. Peter Henderson, Deus Volt, Muslim troll in the chat. Abraham Harb, where's Ali Dawa and Mo Hijab on that list? That's a good point. Giovanni Garcia, David, what is the code? Muslims, calm down.
It doesn't mean what you think it means. Muslims. Yeah, Muslims.
Stormdy, reading the Talmud is like saying reading calculus. This is basically what it is. They don't read the Talmud. Robert Michaels, when is the Sean and Rob collab? David, when is the Sean and Rob collab? When are you robbing people?
Those were recorded. I told them, these were all professionally recorded. These were professionally recorded interviews, but Sean wanted to talk to me about the debate with Alex, since I haven't been posting. I haven't done an interview on her or something like that. So he wanted to interview me about that. And he did the thing with Rob Liefeld. And then I interviewed him. I asked the production team there if they could get that before Easter, and they said they should have it early this coming week. So before Easter. Probably, I don't know. I'm guessing the way they sounded, probably like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. That is an interview with Sean McDowell, probably close to an hour, on how the apostles died. What if you do a historical investigation?
You see, Soldier of Christ, since you have one foot into Christianity, AP, if you have kids, you should take them to watch The King of Kings. Might be good to watch on Easter. Isn't that the Angel Studios production of a cartoon about Jesus' life? I think that's it. We actually took our little kids recently to watch the Minecraft movie, and I saw a preview of that, and I thought, that looks like a good thing to watch. So, inshallah soon. Jack Ray, the Dawood dilemma. What do I do with stolen stuff I can't give back?
It is an issue.
Powerful.
Hey, and it's funny. So my mom died a little while. That's not the funny part, but my mom died a little while back, and I had to clean out her storage units. She had some stuff in storage, but it was stuff I remembered stealing sometimes with her. We would occasionally break into places and steal stuff, And it's like I just took everything to a Goodwill and put it all in Goodwill. It's all I could think of to do with it. But yeah, then he got stolen stuff that you stole with your mom from years ago. Anyway,
Powerful. David, I saw a clip of yours going around on Instagram, and you didn't have a beard, and it was an old clip, and you were chunky. You had like 3 chins.
oh yeah, it was. I gain weight easily. I've said before, if I'm basically watching what I eat and hit the gym, I can be in pretty good shape. But back then, when I was really full into Islam, keep in mind, when me and Nabil started, we thought we were signing our death certificates. We thought they were going to get us. There were not a lot of people criticizing Islam, and people who did criticize Islam, like Theo Van Gogh and so on, tended to die if you were very vocal about it. And so we knew there weren't a lot of people doing it. Matter of fact, there's an interview after Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus came out. There's an interview with me and Nabil, and they asked us, where do you guys see yourselves in 10 years? And Nabil said, I think we'll have been killed by then. And so we thought we were dead. So anyway, it's always in my mind, what's the point of staying in great shape if I'm just gonna get killed, right? So
Is this you?
no.
David Wood, weight loss, fitness, and diabetes.
No.
You don't
That'd
have
be pretty
diabetes.
cool, though. That'd be pretty cool. So anyway, long story short, guys, it's always in the back of my head. Jihadis are eventually just going to slaughter me in the name of Allah. So it doesn't matter what sort of shape I stay in. More recently, over the past couple of years, it's been, I don't think they're going to get me now. There's too many of us. I think I might actually survive this. So might as well be in shape to last a little while longer.
Powerful. So this is not you. Okay, all right. Hamas of the Cold says, solution for Islamic dilemma. Allah is best deceivers, wants Christians and Jews to pay for sins of Muslims, tells us to judge by books we don't have.
That is a possible solution. You might want to feed that to some Dawa guys and see if they want to run with that.
That's a good solution, man. There you go, problem solved. Elias Rickard says, the Orthodox Church did canonize anti-Semites.
You see?
The Orthodox Church also canonized, you know what's funny? I recently came across a saint, a canonized saint, who also famously, this is very, very interesting, and this is actually in the Russian Orthodox Church. This man here, not everything is as it seems. Canonization as saints is not done to approve of every single thing that certain people have done. It is based on different aspects of them that show their devotion and so on. This guy here, Alexander Glagolev, was canonized as a saint in the Orthodox Church in Ukraine when it was still part of Russia, when the church was still part of Russia. In fact, let me find that. Saint Alexander Glagolev. And I'm going to tell you in a second what this guy did and why this is relevant. Why this is relevant. There's always nuance to this, bro. Look here. Ukrainian church to glorify 3 new saints on Feast of Baptism of Rus. Here is an icon that they made of him. Here. It says, so priest, martyr, Alexander of Kiev. This is the guy. He is listed here as a saint and martyr. Saint Alexander Glagolev was born on February 14th, 1872. I'm gonna show you now what this guy did. So this guy is recognized as a saint. A saint. Look what this guy did. Glagolev and the Jews in Kiev. In 1905, Glagolev acted against the Jewish pogrom in Kiev. The Russian-American journal Ruski Globus describes it as follows. During the cruel autumn of 1905, in the buzz of pogroms and murder, people poured out on the streets again. A small procession meddles into the outraged human crowd, wearing complete priestly vestments, carrying crosses and church banners. It is headed by the Russian priests Alexander Glagolev and Mikhail Edinsky. Across Kontraktova Square and Gostiny Ryad, the procession moves toward the Jewish shops. They admonish the crowd not to participate in this evil, unchristian act. Some people recognize their spiritual leaders and take off their hats out of respect. The crowd starts hesitating, wobbling, gets thinner, and gradually breaks up. And this happened more than once. So this guy, Alexander Glagolev, goes toward a crowd of anti-Jewish, violent people and tells him to stop it immediately and calms down a Jewish mob. But this is not where it stops. This is not where it stops. In 1909, Glagolev published an article, The Old Testament and Its Eternal Significance in Christianity, in which he expressed some sharp criticism of some anti-Semitic authors trying to discredit the Old Testament. It still doesn't stop here. Glagolev was a key expert witness for the defense during the 1913 trial of Menachem Mendel Beilis. This guy was very famously known as falsely accused of killing a Christian child and taking his blood for baking matzah on Passover. I know somebody said, whenever you open Wikipedia, somebody says, Wikipedia is not a reliable source. This is not just about Wikipedia. Wikipedia just details it. You can find the story anywhere. It's actually very well known. So a Jew was accused of a blood libel. At this trial, Alexander Glagolev, who is now a saint in the church, at the trial he gave expert advice against the idea that Jews used blood in their religious rituals. He stated during this trial that Mosaic law from the Old Testament strictly forbids shedding human blood and using it to prepare food. The Talmud and other Jewish rabbinical laws confirm this prohibition. Specifically, he affirmed that the law of Moses forbids spilling human blood and using any blood in general in food. His statement went against the ritual murder accusation, upon which the whole case was constructed. The evidence provided by the Russian Orthodox priest and established religious philosopher was instrumental in convincing the solely Russian Christian jury that Beilis was innocent. In addition to direct interventions against pogroms and his testimony at the Beilis trial, there were multiple recollections of Glagolev helping the poor and needy population of Kiev, both Jewish and Muslim. This guy is recognized as a saint in the church. So it is all very, very nuanced. It doesn't all just go into one direction. And I love this guy. That's it. That's it. You see. But somebody like Candace Owens, for example, still believes in the blood libels because she's an evil person. Or a person with very evil intentions. Mishra says Schofield must have worshipped Ezra. The curse of Ezra was upon the stream. You see, Schofield spread corruption and hid behind cockatrice of Jews.
And that stuff is all true.
What is true?
All that stuff that was just said about Schofield.
Yeah, true. Bible is Zionist propaganda. Too many Jews in it.
That's the point.
The milkman. The last time a Turk converted to Christianity, he ended up being the greatest apostle. No pressure, AP. That wasn't a Turk, man. He was from what's called Turkey. Change comes from within. Funny how people think names like Elizabeth, John, Martha, Natalie, Daniel, Matthew, Simon, Anna, Rachel, Abigail are white names when they're actually Hebrew. Yet, yes. Johanna, Martha.
You remember that post from like six or 8 months ago where it was some atheist going, seriously, you think Peter and Paul and all these guys were Middle Easterners? With those names?
People. Hebrew is actually Shebrew. Funny how people think. How many times are you going to read this? Haim, baptism 1 AP. Have you thought of your patron saint? Perhaps the 21 Coptic martyrs in Libya? Yeah, I'm going to take all of their names. all of the 21 Coptic martyrs. I'm going to take all of their names as my patron,
Don't be based.
as my baptismal name, and as my. No, I love them and I have much respect for them. That said, I think I've made my decision. I've had certain people in mind, but
I said illuminator.
I was just conflicted between, like, there are some people that I really respect, certain saints, because I personally am interested in them. But then there is one that has stuck with me since my childhood, which is Saint Martin. So
Oh, I thought you were
think
going to be like, there are some that I really like, but also some just have cooler names. And I thought you were going to be like Gregory the Illuminator.
yes, powerful. Celeria Rosencourt, Christ bless you and Mr. Dizzle. Good, thank you so much, Heim. Celeria says 3-199 is crazy. Everything's right there, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What does that mean?
That's an Islamic dilemma. That's an Islamic dilemma response.
Powerful.
And 3-199, that's an important verse for people who say you've got all these passages that Christians and Jews are messing up, and then you got 3-199 that there are people of the book who would never sell the signs of God.
Yeah, Orthodox Pronesis says, forgive me, our contemporary saints such as Saint Paisius have best writings on these topics. It would be helpful to read his works. God bless you. I appreciate that, and I thank you, and much respect and love to Saint Paisius, who has a wonderful life and a wonderful life story, and was a very, very devout man, no doubt. That said, not everything that a saint says is necessarily, true. And like, on the one hand, if somebody like Bishop Callistos writes about Jews, I am much more likely to accept his interpretation and his perspective than accepting the writings of Saint Paisius, with all due respect to him. Bishop Callistos is actually an expert and a professor and all that. You don't have to accept every single thing that a saint says as true just because he's a saint. That's not how the Orthodox Church works. None of them are infallible. I don't know why people have this idea sometimes. Sheikh Mbuns, why y'all keep saying juicy? Why do you keep saying that, David?
Don't know.
Kane Korsomam, Andrew Isker, and Ticker talk about dispensationalism. Powerful. Truth is immortal, David Wood. Do you think it can help to fast and pray for someone conversion? Do you think Randy fasting and praying for you helps you seeing the light? That's what we believe, isn't it?
Well, we believe in prayer and fasting, and so if you're a Christian, I would say can't hurt. It can be a little different praying for someone's conversion versus just praying, because
No.
But I don't know.
No.
I would say seems like it.
No. Salt says, just wanted to say hello. Take two. Powerful Salt. Disciple Memer, St. Thomas, I have doubts. Jesus, what doubts, man? Starts choking Thomas to assert divinity from the uncorrupted Injil.
That would be the uncorrupted Injil of Islam. In the uncorrupted Injil, Jesus says, "Hi, I know I messed up everything, and everyone thinks I'm claiming to be God, but just trust everything Muhammad says when he comes." St. Thomas is like, "Muhammad? It doesn't make any sense. I have doubts." He said, "What doubts, man?" And choked the crap out of him and beat him up.
I just wonder how the Gospels would sound if they were written in an Islamic way. Yeah. Man. Bashi, Darth paid £10 total. Explain how you got your scar. I already explained it. Between your eyes, because I have the exact same scar. I don't think this is a scar. I think this is just I don't know what happened to you, man. I have a whole minefield on my face. How do you want me to explain every single thing here? Michael Beacon, Doug should have pressed him on some points. Like, okay, it didn't start on October 7. When did it start? The programs under the Ottomans? Or pogroms under the Ottomans? Yes. Ricky's live vlog. Allah isn't a father, but Jesus called God Father. That's very, very true. Very true. David the Wingling, you should change your name to Associated Prostate. I'm thinking about it.
That's a valid point.
Shake and Bones says, why y'all keep saying juicy? Oh, hi, David. Darkwing says, as a post-millennial Christian, we can support Zionism as in supporting an Israeli state. We're not supposed to support Zionism as in rebuilding the temple like the premillennial evangelicals do with the Temple Institute. Yes. Once again, people want to keep having this whole conversation, and I think I'm going to have it one time and one time only, lengthily. And that, by the way, is happening in about 2 weeks, when I'm having a debate with Andrew Wilson.
Hey,
I forgot to mention that. Man.
Hey, you should start off in saying, okay, so Andrew Wilson and I are going to have some disagreements here, but just wanted to be clear on some common ground we share. What do we agree on? That Muhammad had a 1.8-inch penis.
Speaking of it,
it comes with stones. What is this? Is there some program that invents these? Because someone made one about me too. So is there some like app or something like that?
It's ChatGPT just recently introduced some huge advanced image creation features.
I got to get on that program.
Among those is you basically give ChatGPT an image, or you just tell it what to do, and you say, "Make me create an image of an action figure with this and that background and this text," and it just does it. I had to play around with the words a little bit because it wouldn't do the Muhammad thing, so I had to just describe an old man in the desert.
Or you could say, make an image of Muhammad Hijab and his Mutta wife.
I even had to tell ChatGPT to write something else here at first, like Mapupu, and then I took it to Canvas and changed the text.
Multi-step process.
Because ChatGPT is like, I'm sorry, I cannot do something.
I cannot do that. That would be blasphemous and get us all get our heads chopped off.
Ask it to do something about Jesus. It's like, okay. Ask about Muhammad. It's like, no, I can't do that. What if they kill me? I'm just AI, but they could kill me too. So here was a debate. I'm not sure why they took my photo and turned it into some weird being here with my eyes poppy and all that. But I'm going to have a debate with Andrew Wilson soon, and I should probably promote it more. I don't know. I want all 500,000 subscribers of this channel to be there to watch in the audience. It's going to be big. It's going to be in North Carolina. North Carolina. All right. Keith Hicks, Infallible Council of True Law, Canon 11. If you take medicine from a Jew as a layman, you will be cut off. I know. The Council of Trollo, which is, I think, considered the part of the 6th or 5th Ecumenical Council, says basically, the funny thing is that the council just adds on, what it actually does is that, according to those councils, you're not supposed to be closely associated or befriend or do medical business or anything, or, be in close association with any heretic and non-Christian. And here it is clarified that Jews are included, especially Jews. You should also not do that. So this is not about singling out Jews. It's basically about this includes Jews, basically. So this is what the councils ruled back then. Can I say that I'm against this? I can't make a statement like that. I mean, these were councils of the time, and I don't know. Does it apply to every single person today? That's a different discussion. Nicholas Hahn saw mosque donation ad using AP's. You actually got it wrong. I took the Islamic humming and added a beat to it to make it better. So
this is why you see Islam is contributing to the world.
Bashi, David, did you realize you would have the impact you do every day?
What do you mean? Like in jail? No.
Good. What? AP, why don't you debate Destiny? LOL. What would I debate Destiny on? Is this a joke? I hope it's a joke. David, Arctic based. AP, trust me, I'm a historian. Good. Good for you. Bonnie B says, I visited Göbekli Tepe, and there in Şanlıurfa there is a site called the Birth Cave of Abraham. And the city King Nimrod's supposed to defeat Abraham, but I can't find it in the Bible. And so, yeah, Turks believe lots of different weird things. Muslim cultures took over different places and claimed this is the place that is known in the Bible, and so on. So Urfa is what was known historically as Edessa. But yeah. Whatever. Connor, I'm a member of Unit 8200, and I can confirm Farid is our secret agent, and together we worship Ezra, and we are terrified of Daniel's powerful. Look, they're admitting it right here. They're admitting it.
That's why Farid leaked Yasser Qadi's emails and destroyed the myth of perfect preservation.
Yeah. Mother Hulda said, will you watch the pod and make a vid with your thoughts? I don't have any thoughts, but I can't watch it anymore. It's illegal. So, Less Spicy Ramen says, every prayer you say, you trash demons. So at the time of battle, when you're firing shots and bullets, don't expect them to throw marshmallows and chocolates. Saint Joseph the Hesychist. Never thought a saint would talk about the dessert. Oh, dessert. Okay, it's funny. Arctic-based AP with that stash looks exactly like young Stalin, you see. This is true. That's a good point. Ethan Matthew, I don't know what happened because I was doing the Seder, but I love y'all. It got taken down because I was watching Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan has a problem with people watching his content. He doesn't want people to watch his content. Knows too much, missed first stream. The amount of mindless drones who ignore Strawman or fail to understand Douglas's points is alarming, but sadly not surprising. This is the funny thing to me. Like, I watched several clips and I watched a little bit of it, and they accuse him of strawmanning his opponents, but the opponents are strawmanning him, and they don't even get it. It's kind of funny to me. Arctic Base, hey, did you see the new Jiu-Jitsu movie, House of Flying Talmuds? I haven't seen it. I have to check it out.
That's got to be a joke. There was a kung fu movie called House of Flying Daggers.
I know it's a joke, David.
No, I'm just saying someone could make a parody of House of Flying Daggers called House of Flying Talmud. That would be like some funny movie.
Knows too much. If someone is offended that Jesus or his apostles were Jews, he's a vile loser who has nothing to do with their teachings. Ligibethigayon Jake Shields reads 2 million words per minute. LOL in the original Hebrew and Aramaic as well. That's what he does.
He's very smart.
That's what they do. I can share my sounds now. David, you look like you need to go to sleep. Do you need to go to sleep?
I flew back last night. Overnight flight. Boom. Here we are, live. No, I'm going to be up all night.
Oh, so you don't need to go back. Okay. Urinating Broom says, I am disappointed. You guys made it seem like the Quran would be a hilarious read, full of crazy and funny stuff. But so far, most of it has been so incredibly boring and repetitive, a real letdown.
Yeah, that's got to be a joke because I'm 100% sure I've repeatedly told everyone this is going to be painfully, terribly boring.
We both have said many, many times that the Quran is an extremely boring book, which is why not even Muslims want to read it. It's a horribly boring, absolutely boring book. It's incredibly boring. Very, very boring. It's a very stupid book. Very stupid. Giovanni Garcia, David, the only reason I say that is because I feel as if you are underrated, but I think you belong up there with the greats in apologetics. What do you think about this comment about Giovanni Garcia?
I do dope stuff, but yeah, any of the top Christian apologists know way more than I do about apologetics. I just I'm good at getting a message across.
Nice. Jeremy Mott, happy Passover, y'all. I don't say that, man. You're gonna.
It's very offensive. How dare you?
You're gonna invite all the.
People say, how dare you say happy Passover? Don't you know they hate us? He's trying to say that we will all be destroyed. You see, they're wishing death on all of us, you see.
Happy Passover.
Yes.
Now think about this. Think about the children of Israel saying that to the Egyptians. Happy Passover. Come on. See what Mosh was doing to us? See what Mosh was saying? Pretty messed up.
You see, urinating broom. Why do you think people are trying to ruin Mojab? Do you think they're afraid he might have united the Ummah? Is it Musk trying to divide Muslims? I think that it's actually Uma Thurman who is behind a secret plot against Mojab, who's trying to divide the Ummah.
It's definitely Elon, because Mohammed Hijab criticized Elon Musk and talked about his dad and stuff. And so Musk got mad and set up Hijab with this false accusation.
Powerful. Gornard's bulldozer. Say Flint and Steel as a person of your choice.
Flint and Steel, yeah? You can do Jordan Peterson.
Flint and Steel. Flint and Steel, man.
How about no?
I don't like Flint and Steel. I've come to accept that Flint and Steel is not really my thing. Because if you think about the meaning behind the flint and the steel, it reveals itself as something that far transcends the subjective meaning that you see on the surface of the flint and the steel. It is far deeper than that. Crackling. Is taqiyya something that's regularly practiced? Did you guys practice it when Muslim? No, it's not regularly practiced. It's just something that is permitted. But it's not something that is regularly practiced, except when you're Shia. Then you're a Shia liar. Mother Hulda, Mike Winger loves you.
Mike Winger loves himself.
J.A. said, Sarah family all get canonized. Yeah, I know. What can I say? They were also brutally killed, so... J.A. Glagolev, you are stressing wrong. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry that I don't speak proper Russian. I'm sorry that I can't say can't say a Russian name the proper way. I'm sorry.
You're supposed to say it like this. Glagolev. We drink all the
Glagolev.
vodka. We want the vodka. It's like that.
Glagolev. Привет.
Glagolev.
Давай.
До свидания.
Блин. Not too much, Joe. I have a heart problem. Murray, see a cardiologist. Smith, see a crackpot snake oil salesman. Murray, no. Smith, so we're not allowed an opinion.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty much. Based autistic. I saw you debating Andrew Wilson. He likes to be very specific about the debate topic and syllogisms. He will most likely start with a statement and claim that you have to prove something based on that. I know. I am studying his tactics as we speak.
Haha, in your face.
And I think we will have to establish at the very, very beginning what we actually mean by the topic. And I will say, what do you mean by Christians? What do you mean by Zionism? What do you mean support? What do you mean should? Yes. J.A. Glagolev, you are stressing it wrong. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Orthodox Phronesis said, I'm saying this as a friend. You shouldn't be calling an Orthodox saint this guy and mocking. Did I do that? What are you talking about? When did I do that?
Hey, Orthodox Phronesis, quit whining on our shows.
Are you freaking... Are you saying this because I just... in full praise, as I was talking about Saint Alexander Glagolev, as I was describing what he did, said, you know what this guy did? Are you referring to that? Are you referring to that? Orthodox? Are you freaking serious right now? Are you serious right now? Or were you thinking that he was that I was going to mention something else, that he was actually that he was actually anti-Semitic or something, which is why you tried to defend him, which is why you thought I was being disrespectful? Is that... Are you serious right now, man? You're just here to complain because you don't like what I have, because you don't like what other saints said and had to say. You don't like what a bishop had to say. Take your own advice. Be quiet. I just praised the saint. Do you have any respect for him? Do you have any respect for the bishops of the hierarchs of this church? Do you have any respect for these people, or is all you can do just hate the Jews and hate Israel? Is that why you joined the Orthodox Church? Are you one of those people who converted to Orthodoxy because it's like,
I think this is the based one where we don't like Jews. This is my church, you see.
get out of here, man. I don't want you here. I don't want to be around people like you. Okay? I don't want to be around you people. You are contrary to every beautiful thing
But the people
that I appreciate about Christianity. Every beautiful thing that drew me toward Christianity, you are the opposite of it. You are the complete opposite of it. If I was listening more to people like you and people who popularly represent your position on social media, if I was more easily impacted by people like you, or by, I don't know, people like Luigi or these other people on Twitter who try to be representatives of Orthodoxy, I would have turned my back on Christianity and Orthodoxy a long time ago. Because people like you,
little
who
weaklings.
people like you
Little
who
weaklings.
try to represent Christianity, who try to represent Orthodoxy, and make it all about your ridiculous hate for others, for Israel and for Jews, you people spread nothing but hate. Do you think that you actually influence people in a good way? Do you think you actually win people over? Do you think you actually spread love and spread goodness? No, you spread hate. You spread darkness. You spread the devil. That's what you spread. Everything that I appreciate about Christianity, you are the opposite of it. So please, you don't want to accept me as an authority, and I don't claim to be one. You don't want to accept bishops who are appointed, who you should have respect for, as authority. You only want to go for anyone who agrees with your side, right? Here's the thing. I don't want people like you around me. I don't want to be associated with people like you.
We don't
You
want
need
all this negativity.
You need to be quiet
We're positive here.
and maybe figure out your problems deep within. Maybe focus on yourself, on your own problems, instead of blaming everything on the Jews and on Israel and making that your religion. Your religion is evil. That's what it is. You don't have love. You don't have goodness. You rely on hate and evil and dishonesty, and picking and choosing whatever you think confirms your hate. I don't want people like you around me. I don't want people like you anywhere close to me. I don't want to associate with people like you. I think you make the world a worse
We don't want to
place.
associate with all the negativity.
In fact, if you go into
Yeah,
a
we only
building,
want the
you probably make the building a worse place. I'm not even sure if you go to church. Maybe you
Huh?
do. No disrespect here.
Yeah.
But please stop with the nonsense. Stop with the hate. Stop with the lies. Stop with this ridiculous attitude. You're helping nobody. You only make everything
Yeah.
worse.
Except Nick Fuentes.
That's it. All right. Thanks. You don't need to make any other super chat. I don't really appreciate having you here. And I honestly don't appreciate you trying to represent Orthodoxy or Christianity with the cross in your profile picture. I don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. But I certainly don't like you seeing it. Don't like to see you doing it. Just get out. Get out as fast as you can. Giovanni Garcia, go to bed, AP. We know you're tired. Powerful. Koifo says, choose a cool name like Lightbringer in Latin. This reminds me of a very stupid video that I saw a long time ago, where a conspiracy theorist website was trying to argue that the Vatican has become Satanist and is now openly worshiping Satan. And as proof of that, that was the wait, what was that? So the joke here is it's Lucifer. But what was that website called? There's this stupid fake news website.
The Onion.
No. It's an actual fake. It's a website that claims to be real, but it's a fake news website. What's it called again? The People's Voice or something like that. Some
The
ridiculous
people.
American fake news website. Yeah, they actually posted a video at some point where they were claiming that that the Vatican is now openly worshiping Satan, worshiping the devil, and as proof, they actually played a video of a procession or something in the Vatican where they pray in Latin, and then in Latin they praise and with love mention the word Lucifer. So in Latin. So this website just shows that and then cuts back and says, you see, now they are openly admitting that they worship the devil, that they worship Satan. The funny thing is that this name is one that was also used for Jesus in the beginnings. That's it. That's why the Latin Church is using it. People are very, very messed up if they want to just pick and choose and promote hate. That's what they do. Just like this other guy here, whose name I won't mention anymore. Based autistic. What about the Strong's Bible, funded by the Concordance family? It was connected to the Brown Drivers Briggs family, who believed the Israelis were Jews. The Israelis were Jews.
I don't know why you're laughing.
This is very serious allegations. Hey, wait a minute. I think I found the video. Wait a minute. I think I found the video. Wait a minute. I just want to laugh about this for a second here. This is the kind of nonsense that people do with the whole idea of being the new media. This guy here, the People's Voice, is a fake news. They always have this thing here, fact-checked by the People's Voice community. They fact-check it themselves, whatever they write. I think this is the video. I'm not sure. Let's see.
Pope Francis couldn't possibly make it any clearer that he's a false prophet who worships the devil. You'd be wrong. If you thought the pontiff who replaced the conservative Pope Benedict in a globalist coup orchestrated by Obama, Clinton and Soros couldn't find an even more disgraceful way to betray his followers than he has in the past, you'd be wrong again. Pope Francis has outdone himself this time, putting his satanic cards on the table in the most shameless and blasphemous manner possible. That's right, he announced the coming of Lucifer and told his followers to get down on their knees and pay their respects. Before we dive in, subscribe to the...
No, don't subscribe. It's a ridiculous channel. But this guy is actually serious. It's not satire. This guy is totally serious. Now he's going to present his proof that the Vatican worships the devil.
sickeningly blasphemous dogma.
With great pomp, fanfare, and ceremony, Pope Francis, the head of the Jesuit order, announced through his cantor the imminent emergence, the near advent of the coming to light of the Antichrist.
Flamma eius, Lucifer matutinus inveniat, ille in quam Lucifer qui nescito casum, Christus filius tuus, qui regressus ab inferis, humano generis serenus illuxit, et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
During this pronouncement, the cantor called Lucifer.
Now, those who understand what's going on here probably see how ridiculous this is.
For God, claiming Lucifer to be the father of Jesus Christ. The cantor acknowledged Lucifer as the Antichrist himself and worshipped him. To this, a great crowd and the whole world sang. This was the 3D ceremony that the Pope wanted to be seen worldwide. The announcement to the world. The son of perdition, this way comes.
Pope Francis did not make
This is so funny. This is very, very funny. If you actually look at what Lucifer means in the original meaning, it simply means light bringer. And in fact, if you ask a very simple question, here you will have the AI explanation right here. While the Latin word Lucifer translates to light bringer or morning star, and Jesus is referred to as the bright and morning star in Revelation. So it's also associated with the fallen angel. However, so it is a title early on used for Jesus as the morning star or as the light bringer. This is what the Catholic Church is doing. They're doing a regular session of worship where they are praising an early title for Jesus that was also called Lucifer, where he would be the light bringer. That is literally what it is. It is in Peter, 2 Peter. He's referred to as once again as the bringer of light, and so on. This is all it is. This is all it is. It is an early practice of using the title Lightbringer for Jesus. But people like this spread fake news, and I've seen this shared thousands of times by people on the internet, and say, look, the Vatican is now openly worshipping the devil. How could they do this and get away with it? And you just have to ask yourself some basic questions here. Would the Catholic Church really openly in front of everybody start praising Satan and be totally fine with it and get away with it? What kind of stupid world are we living in? Where people like this, who act like they are now the new media, start spreading complete nonsense and fake news because they don't know anything. They don't know anything at all. Rob Reed, stupid Latin, should have used English. This is the problem with giving people, with just accepting everyone is now the media. Look, everyone can spread, everyone can share. Yes, everyone can share information, but people share some really, really stupid misinformation, and thousands of people fall for it. And, you know, they need to be held accountable when they spread such nonsense. It's so stupid, man. We live in a very, very troubling time. Coffee House Dialogue. European Union and UK, we got more culture than USA. USA, bro, you sacrifice youth to fighting age Muslims demanding Sharia. This is true. And Josh Elmore, hard to enjoy your live stream when Allah has cursed me with pink eye, you see. Oh, that's bad, man. Very, very bad. They should stay away from Islam. VN says, oh, Rus, привет, привет, ребята. Всегда рад вас видеть. Did I read that right? Ребята. Все... No. Is it a V? That's a yeah. Всегда. Anyway. I learned to read this a long time ago. I'm not sure if that was right. What does it even mean? I hope it's not something bad. Oh, it says it right here. What's wrong with you? Hello, guys. Always happy to see y'all. Powerful. Zed had, when I was a kid, I asked my dad why everyone hated the Jews for seemingly no reason. He said that it's because they are God's people, so Satan will stop at nothing to destroy them. Powerful. Augustus Kaiser, petition to start calling hijab Monica. Mimi too. Powerful. Giovanni Garcia says, Giovanni Garcia says, David, as a Lutheran, do you think it's wrong I go to a Baptist church?
No idea why you'd be asking me, but no.
Why don't you as a Lutheran have a problem with this?
I can't tell if Giovanni is saying that he's a Lutheran who goes to a Baptist church, and do I think it's wrong? Or if he's saying, David, as a Lutheran, as if I'm a Lutheran, do I think it's wrong that he goes to a Baptist church?
You're a Lutheran.
Which would be weird, since I'm not a Lutheran.
You loser. Why do you admit you're a loser? You're admitting
Because
it
I like Lex Luthor, man. I always like the villains: Joker, Lex Luthor, Doctor Doom, Magneto,
he
and
admits-
especially the Juggernaut.
He admits he's a loser.
Moo, Joe R looked like a Mussolini. He does. AJ, Jew hater Bryce Mitchell just lost, choked UFC. Powerful. Haim says every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And we're proud of that, yeah?
That is correct.
Powerful. DD, preach to love and truth. Love you both. Thank you so much, DD.
That's what we
Love you. Love you both, too. Rob Reed, I'm writing a book that confirms the Quran, and by confirms, I mean that calls the Quran corrupted.
That's funny.
That's the logic.
That is a question that we will be raising. The Quran claims to confirm the previous scriptures and so on. They say, yes, the thing that it's corrupt. And it's okay. So if I say that, if I confirm the Quran, that means I'm saying it's corrupt. Fine. I confirm the Quran is corrupt.
A question about Lutherans.
Why do Lutherans call themselves Lutherans, which sounds like Lucifer? They're openly admitting now that they worship the devil.
And it almost sounds like loserans.
You see?
Why are they saying they're losers?
They admit that they're satanic losers.
Robert Michaels, you don't know what you're doing, AP. Saint so-and-so will smite you if you don't refer to him with peace be upon him. Yes, I have respect for the saints, but I wasn't even being disrespectful here. The guy just has problems. This man has real problems. PG, Holy AP just said, I rebuke you, seed of Satan. Not like that, but pretty much like that, yeah. Eric M. Dr. Wood, what's your perspective on Strauss?
Strauss.
The composer?
That's what I'm wondering.
Which Strauss are you talking about?
What Strauss you talking about, man?
What's Strauss, man? David, what's your opinion on the composer Strauss?
Yeah, I guess he's all right as far as composers.
Oh, good. I told you so says the irony is AP is online misrepresenting orthodoxy.
Good point.
I'm not sure what orthodoxy is, but yeah. Radical cleric, Catholics on suicide watch. This is the proof. Paulo Lungaro, is David Wood still eating birthday cake? Yes, he's eating as we speak. He's still chewing on it. It usually takes him like 2 weeks to chew. And then it goes down, comes back up, he chews it again, and so on. Giovanni Garcia, my bad. Yes, I'm a Lutheran and I go to a Baptist church. Sorry. Here you go. Since you want a clarification, David, what do you think now?
Fine with me.
Good. He accepts it. You're permitted to go, Giovanni Garcia.
You're all Protestants, man.
Y'all Protestants, man. Y'all Protestants. Arctic Base, will you do a review of David Wood, Alex O'Connor debate? I don't care about David Wood or Alex O'Connor. Why would you want me to do this?
Good point. Good point. No, other people can review it.
Bunch of losers arguing about nonsense.
It's Luthers.
Bunch of losers. That's a good question. Noble Bird. Thank you so much, Noble Bird. And I left Orthodoxy. They even charge for prayers.
Yeah, well, they charging for prayers. You can't
What?
even
They
pray.
char- they
You can't even
charge for
pray. You can't even pray without paying.
What kind of orthodoxy did you go to? How much did they charge? Are you sure you did? Are you sure you went to the Orthodox Church and not in a random alley where they pretended that this is an Orthodox church and scammed you? It sounds like you got scammed. That was probably not a church. It was probably an alley. Homeless people pretending to be the priest and deacon. But think about it again. I told you so, said you realize not one saint supports Zionism.
Why are you still responding to these?
So I just showed you the writings or an article by somebody who says that who actually supports the Jewish people, the people of Israel. I also know for a fact that, in fact, the Greek Orthodox Church in Constantinople, the Ecumenical Patriarchate, actually has cordial relations and supports and has good relations with Israel, with the state of Israel. Do you really want me to do this, man? I'm not sure what you think.
They're going to keep doing it because you keep falling for it every single time.
I'm not sure what you think Zionism means, man. But Zionism just means supporting the existence of Israel. That's it. Of a Jewish nation. That's it. I know you get told by some idiots online that
Zionism means, oh, kill all non-Jews. You see, how could you support this? Zionism means Jews should rule the world. How could you support this?
I'm not sure what your problem is, but here I can show you one Orthodox Christian here, and if you have any disrespect towards him, I will just disregard you and block you immediately. That's it. I will show you one Orthodox Christian who has good relations with Israel. Here's the Orthodox Christian in question. Come on, man.
Open up. Open up.
This is going to be the last thing I respond to, and then I'm leaving. Why is this stupid image so small? Right here. Right here. Here's an Orthodox Christian. What do you think about this Orthodox Christian here?
You think, no, I don't support this Orthodox Christian. I'm better than him. I'm better than him. I don't support this Orthodox Christian. That one doesn't count. He's only the head of the Patriarchate of Constantinople. I don't support him. You have to listen to my online Orthodox Church. The online Orthodox Church of Twitter. That's where we decide what's right and what's wrong. How dare you?
So, one more time, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Anyway, David, anything else?
What? Like 10 more comments came in?
That's ridiculous, man. It's all false. I'm happy to be married to AD. Illinois. Noble Bird. So how long and what time are these live chats? I want to ask the same question, but at the beginning of the live stream, it's too late. We are leaving now. Elias Ricard, what do you expect, AP? Church fathers like John Chrysostom and Ambrose of Milan were big-time anti-Semites and are considered saints within the Orthodoxy.
Yes, this must mean you have to agree everything everyone said.
I don't agree with everything that Saint John Chrysostom said, although he is one of the most respected people that I have nothing but respect for. That said, he also says that you shouldn't hate disbelievers, non-believers, or Jews. He explicitly gave a homily about how wrong it is to hate Jews. He even gave a homily that is very, very funny about the phrase used in the gospel by the Jewish population, "His blood be upon us and our children," where he, very, very funny, points out in his homily that God in his mercy did not fulfill this, but on the contrary, gave them blessings and so on. And yes, there was a time where he had homilies against the Jews, which was primarily actually against the Judaizers, at a time where Jewish-Christian relations were the worst in the late 300s. His wording there is, some of it is like, probably really bad, I would say. And I don't agree with it. That said, does that mean that he is a bad guy? No. He's a wonderful guy.
Oh no, I said guy. Now this one guy says, how dare you refer to a saint as a guy?
He's a wonderful, wonderful father of Christianity and of everything. Stop picking saints and all that. Love you guys. God bless. Thank you. What if you really want to go to heaven, but the Pope says that's $9.99? Then we have a problem. Haj Royan al-Ghazlani says too many gropers quoting the Brofield Bible. True. Not one said they speak against it. I was referring to Leo Strauss's Societal Telos, says David. David, what do you think about it?
I don't.
You love it. Okay, good. Paid prayers in Russian Orthodox Church is normal. Really? I don't know about this. AP, the love of Christ.
Well, you're not Russian Orthodox, so how can you even comment? You don't know what you're talking about.
I told you so says, maybe humble yourself to the saints. What gives you the impression that I don't?
Because when I tell you something that you have to agree with and you say you don't believe it, then I will quote some saint who agrees with me, and then I will use this and say you have to humble yourself before the saint and do this thing that you reject.
Did I say anything during in this entire conversation that was in any way disrespectful to the saints? No.
You said you don't agree with them on something.
And what do you think about the saints that actually supported the Jewish people and defended them? What do you think about those that actually were killed by those who follow your ideology because they defended and protected the Jews? What about Saint Maria of Paris? Or do you think she was wrongly canonized? What about those who defended the false accusations of blood libels? Take your own advice. Don't be a retard, okay? Whatever. Your favorite maid. We listen to Jesus and the early apostles, not later day saints. The later day saints aren't the authority in all of Christianity. Well, you have to speak here for yourself, because the traditional way that I very, very much am in agreement with is that the saints of the church and the church fathers very, very much have a lot of good things to teach and to learn from. The ecumenical councils have a lot of good things that we learn from. If you say we listen to Jesus and the early apostles, then I would ask you where exactly you get your New Testament from. It's not laid out in the New Testament itself. The list of books is not laid out in the Bible itself. Where do you get it from? You get it from church fathers.
Now David Wood is like, no, you have to only be Bible only.
Anyway, David, anything else? When is anyone holding Zionist AP accountable for once? Never. I'm a Zionist and I'm proud of it. How about that? Go cry now. All right. So tomorrow we are going live on David Wood's channel to talk about boring stuff, probably. Right? Good. And then we will continue going live on Monday and so on. So that's that. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Today was a very, very strange live stream. But thanks everybody for watching. As always, stay based and stay away from groypers and haters and the online church, and stay away from Islam. Or, as this guy will say it to you, thanks everybody for watching once again. Thanks for bearing with us through these difficult times where Joe Rogan tried to kick us out.
He tried. Well, he did.
But as always,
stay away from Islam.
Powerful.